My name is Claire, and from wherever you're watching this, stay with me because the night I nearly died wasn't the worst part. The worst part was learning that my parents knew and still didn't come. It was raining hard when the truck hit us, the kind of rain that blurs headlights into ghostly smears across the windshield. I was in the passenger seat, watching the wipers battle the storm. Daniel, my friend, leaned forward, gripping the wheel so tight his knuckles gleamed white, his face tense. The tires hissed and slid as we rounded the bend. Then headlights, bright, blinding. A truck, too close, too fast. The horn, the scream of steel against steel, glass raining in shards. And then nothing. When I opened my eyes again, I thought maybe I hadn't survived. The room was so bright, so sterile. It felt otherworldly. But then the pain came rushing in. My chest burned with every breath. My ribs screamed like they were splintered into knives. My skull throbbed with stitches pulling against my skin. My throat was raw from the tube still lodged inside it. Machines beeped steadily beside me, like a second heartbeat. I couldn't move, couldn't speak, couldn't even raise a hand. I lay there suspended between life and death. And then I heard them, the nurses outside my door whispering in low voices. "It's heartbreaking," one said softly. "We called her parents that night. You know what they said? They couldn't come, because her sister's graduation was that night." The other voice lowered, shocked. Even when they were told she might not make it, they still didn't come. They said it was bad timing. I blinked hard, tears stinging the corners of my eyes. They knew. They were told, tonight might be her last. And they chose the graduation. A tear slid from my eye. Hot, slow, not from the accident, not from the pain, from them. Because in that moment, I understood what my heart had known all along. I was never the priority. If this story already moves you, don't forget to like this video, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and subscribe to the channel. And tell me in the comments where you're watching from. Your support helps more people hear stories like this. The next morning, a nurse came in. Her name tag read Elena. She smiled as she adjusted my IV, her voice gentle but steady. "You're a fighter," she said. "Everyone's amazed. The first 2 days were really tough, but you pulled through. Your parents still haven't called again, but we're here. You're not alone." But I was alone. My phone gone. My belongings gone. My family absent. Even my sister hadn't texted. That night, listening to the rain tapping against the hospital window, I made a vow. If I lived, if I healed, if I ever stood on my own 2 feet again, they would never stand beside me again. This wasn't new. The accident just revealed what had always been there. When I was 7, I broke my arm falling from the monkey bars. My wrist bent at a terrible angle, pain searing through me. The teacher called my mom, and my mom said, "Can she wait an hour? Her sister has piano practice." That was the first time I realized love in my family came with conditions. By the time I was 10, the pattern was clear. My sister equaled priority. I equaled background noise. When she caught the flu, the whole house shut down. Warm towels, soup, movie marathons. When I got strep throat, I was told to stop complaining and stay in my room. She got her own birthday parties. I got joint ones, if they remembered. She needed braces. They paid in full. I needed a retainer. I was told to clench my teeth at night. So I became useful, quiet, invisible, the daughter who didn't cause trouble, hoping usefulness would equal love. But it never did. In high school, I did everything right. I joined the science club. I volunteered at the animal shelter. I entered contests. I even won 3rd place in a regional writing competition. My parents didn't come to the ceremony. My sister had a hair appointment. My teacher shook my hand and said, "Your parents must be so proud." I smiled and lied. Even the accident didn't change the script. When told I might not make it, they still didn't come because my sister's graduation was more important. Rachel's graduation, the golden child's milestone. Even as I bled, As doctors said, she may not survive the night they chose Rachel. By day 5 in the hospital, I stopped checking the door. By day 6, Elena brought me chamomile tea. She lingered and asked, "You'll be discharged tomorrow. Do you have someone who can meet you?" I shook my head. "No." She hesitated. "Would you like us to call them one last time?" I whispered, "No, but I'll leave them something." That night, I pulled out a hospital notepad and began to write. To my parents, "You were told I might die, and you didn't come. You chose my sister's graduation. I survived not because of you, but in spite of you. For years, I tried to earn love you were never willing to give. Now I'm giving myself something better. Goodbye." I folded the letter neatly, placed it in the center of the bed, and smoothed the blanket over it. The next morning, I pulled the wires from my chest, dressed myself, and walked out of that hospital alone. The best walk of my life. They showed up a week too late. My mom in sunglasses, my dad impatient, Rachel scrolling on her phone. Elena met them in the hallway. Calm, steady. She left, she told them. Strong, alone, by choice. My dad barked, "That's ridiculous." Elena stayed firm. "You were told she might not survive, and you said you couldn't come." Then she handed them my letter. They read it. My mom covered her mouth. My dad froze. Rachel muttered, "She's being dramatic. She'll come home." Elena told them softly, "When someone leaves that quiet, they're not coming back." I didn't vanish. I just stopped being visible to people who never looked for me anyway. I moved to Asheville, rented a tiny studio above a cafe. The floor creaked. The bathroom was the size of a closet, but it was mine. It smelled like coffee and second chances. I got a job downstairs. I started journaling. I went to therapy. For the first time, silence didn't hurt. It felt like permission. Meanwhile, their perfect image cracked. At a family gathering, a cousin asked, "Didn't Claire almost die? Where is she now?" My mom dodged. My dad laughed. But then, a hospital intake note leaked. Parents notified. Declined visit due to daughter's graduation. The town whispered. Their friends pulled away. Even Rachel's social media collapsed. By the 3rd month, my mom sent a shaky voice note. "We didn't know it was that bad. Please, just tell me you're okay." I didn't reply. Not out of revenge, but because I didn't need anything from her anymore. They weren't grieving me. They were grieving their control. One night, I published my story anonymously. The night they didn't show up. It spread like wildfire. People commented, "This was me. My parents didn't come either." A magazine picked it up. Then a publisher. Then a conference. A year later, I stood on stage, microphone in hand, my name on the banner, Claire Lynn, writer, survivor, storyteller. And I told them, they didn't show up when I was dying, so they don't get to show up now that I'm living. The audience stood. Some clapped, some cried, some just listened. And for the first time, I felt seen, not as Rachel's sister, not as background noise, but as me, Claire, alive, free. If this story touched you, don't scroll away. Like this video, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and subscribe to the channel. And in the comments, tell us where you're watching from. Because survival doesn't mean walking away without scars. It means walking anyway. And if you want more stories like this, hit the notification bell. Every week, we share stories that remind you you're not alone. So once again, like, share, subscribe, and let us know where you're watching from. This is my story. And maybe it's yours too.